Customer lists or customer match targeting can be extremely effective in paid media. You upload a list of user information, and then you know exactly who you're targeting within your ad campaigns. Now I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to make sure that you're actually uploading proper lists, right? You have permission to use their contact information. Good? Okay, now we can continue. We can use lists in more channels than just Facebook and Google. There are a variety of ad platforms that allow you to use customer lists, but the requirements are different in most of them. So we want to just talk on a very high level where you can use customer lists to give you an idea of potentially new ad platforms to try. I'm starting off in Google Ads first, because it's probably the most popular and it's going to take the longest. But I'm not going to hop into the audience section right away. That's because if any of your campaigns are using smart bidding or optimized targeting, Google's automatically going to include your customer match lists to optimize your campaigns. You can turn the setting off, and that's going to be in your account settings. So go to admin, there you will see account settings, and it's all the way at the bottom. It's really a good setting. If you already have a large list of customers or high quality prospects, you probably want more customers and high quality prospects, right? So upload them to Google. The more quality signals we can give to Google, the better Google can optimize your campaigns. So just wanted to show you where this setting was. But now we can head to audiences. So let me go to campaigns, then shifting down audiences, keywords, and content. But now we can talk about where to upload your customer list. Head on over to tools, find shared library, and then we want audience manager. Click on the blue plus button, and here's where you can upload a customer list. Now it's grayed out a little bit, but there is a data manager section. So if you've connected your CRM, maybe an email platform, that's one way to feed in your lists. We do have a video showing you how to do it with HubSpot. You can check that one out here. But we see the first option is another way for you to connect a service to start feeding in your list. There are way more options than what you see on the screen right now. So just search for whatever platform you use. Some of them do require Zapier in order to get it back into the system. Just keep that in mind too. That's an additional paid service. Many of you will look at uploading a manual file. So if I click continue, here's where you would name it, choose your customer type, pretty much what type of list are you uploading. Then you tell Google what data you are uploading, and here's the link where you can download the template. I highly recommend doing so and looking at the formatting guideline, because if one little thing is off in any of the cells, the whole sheet can get rejected. They'll tell you where to fix it, but it's a pain in the butt to keep having to go back. Coming down to instructions, this is a pretty good recap of how they want it formatted. Now, customer lists in Google Ads used to never expire. Well, now the maximum member duration is 540 days, unless you add more members to the list or just refresh it. Google says any members that were added or refreshed more than 540 days ago will no longer be eligible to be targeted. And a list must have at least 100 members added or updated within the last 540 days. So that's why we love our customers who use HubSpot or any other CRM upload, and you're constantly refreshing your lists. Hopefully you're keeping your CRMs up to date, because then we don't have to worry about that. But if you're using a manual list, keep in mind this will also apply to any list you use for exclusions, and you're not refreshing your exclusion lists, well, eventually it's not going to work. 540 days is a long time in terms of paid media audiences, but time goes by quick and it's easy to forget about. But we see an example too, right here. These are all the column options that you can upload into Google. The only mandatory one is email. So if you don't have someone's email, don't bother putting in the rest of the information. It's not going to work. And while they use Gmail as an example, the emails don't all have to be Gmail. In a few past companies I've worked for, Gmail powered our work email. It was at thecompanyname.com. Or if people just sign up to use Google services like YouTube using a non-Gmail account, all of those will apply. Now, in terms of minimum size, Google requires that there are 1,000 matched email addresses. I'm going to really stress matched. So if your initial list that you're uploading isn't even 1,000 users, don't even bother. They do this mainly for privacy reasons, so you can't get crazy specific and creepy with your targeting. But not only that, keep in mind how you're going to use this list. If you plan on layering it in to any search campaigns, whether for targeting and exclusion, any audiences for search network need to have a minimum of 1,000 users. Display is much smaller. YouTube used to be like that too, but they've also increased audience sizes. But here's where you can go, save and continue. I'm going to cancel this for now. Then you can filter it by the segment type or audience type. And here's where you would just monitor while the audience is being built. Let's jump to the second one. And that's going to be Microsoft Ads. Pretty similar setup with Google. We need to go to Tools. And here we see Audiences. You may have to search for it depending on what you have pinned. And here we can create an audience. And there's Customer Match Lists. Scrolling down, I'll just click Next. Yeah, gotta name it. There we go. Now next, there are 2 links here. It's the same thing where you can download the Microsoft Ads customer list template. Everything with the hashtag in front of it is not recognized. You'll see that in the Google template too. But with Microsoft, it's just email. It's also laughable that they're using Gmail as their email examples. But that's pretty much it. You definitely need that email column header, and then just paste your long list of emails, and the file must be a CSV. Microsoft says the list needs to have at least 300 active users in order to be eligible to target on Microsoft's advertising network. I did find out that your customer list from Microsoft can have 4 million emails attached to it. For whatever reason, if you need more, you're going to have to upload a separate list. Now, if you're wondering about linking CRMs to Microsoft, it is possible, but the only way to do it is with Zapier. There's no native HubSpot or Salesforce integration with Microsoft. But if you have Zapier, you can also import directly from an Excel file. So then those will show up within your audience section too. Jumping into Meta, if you want to use customer lists for Facebook or Instagram, I'm in Ads Manager and I clicked on Audiences over here. Then we can go up, create a new audience. We want a custom audience. And here's where you can choose customer list. We'll click Next. Notice that you can import from MailChimp. Well, let's take a look at the file template. Notice that there are several columns for email, several columns for phone. Think of one row as an individual person. If you have multiple emails for any contact in your list, include them all, because you may not know which one the user has used to sign up for Facebook or Instagram. Odds are it's personal, but you just never know. Same thing, we got multiple phone numbers. There's a work number, home number, cell phone number. And keep in mind that these column headers are abbreviated and different. We need them to match. So there's mobile ad ID, first name, last name, city, state, country, date of birth year, gender, and a potential value associated with the user. This one is different than the first 2 we saw. I'm not going to go and upload a list, but there will be options in the next step to match with these identifiers. They do make importing a little easy if your column headers aren't the same. Where many of the other options like LinkedIn, which we'll see next, and Google, if anything is wrong, the whole thing gets rejected. They don't try to help you out connect the information. Now, Facebook says within their own help sections that it has to include at least 100 customers. Again, matched customers. So make those lists as large as possible. As I mentioned, LinkedIn is next. Right now I'm in the main overview. To find audiences, click on Plan, and then Audiences, and then create a new audience. In this case, we want a matched audience. Sources, there's company and contact. Company is pretty much going to be the ABM targeting, but with this option, it will default to contact. That's the individual user. I'm not going to talk about the other option. We already have a video about company targeting. You can check that one out here, but let's download LinkedIn's template. This one's pretty straightforward. If you don't think you'll use the ID column, you can go ahead and remove it. Same thing, if you don't know anyone's job title, feel free to remove that column too. LinkedIn says that they recommend a list size of 10,000 contacts or more. That's their recommendation. We've uploaded lists that have less than that. Just keep in mind, the minimum audience size in LinkedIn is 300 matched users. So as always, upload as many as you can, but you got to connect with at least 300 users. The maximum amount is 300,000 users. So big range there. The more information you can provide, even the ones I deleted, the better chance you'll have to match with the user. So you can upload a CSV. I canceled out of this. LinkedIn also integrates with many other platforms. HubSpot is another one that makes it very easy. You can also sync a lot of things with Zapier into LinkedIn Ads and Campaign Manager as well. If that's the case, those audiences will start to show up here in the match section, and you'll be building those audiences in the third-party tool. So you will see them here, and then when you're going into your campaign targeting, instead of going into your main list upload or contact targeting options, you'll have to find the third-party audience section when you're looking at retargeting to upload anything from any third-party source. LinkedIn does state that any list that you upload takes about 48 hours to populate. And in my experience, it's pretty much been the case, about 48 hours. Probably one of the longest ones that we've had to deal with. And then you have to go to your client wondering why we can't get the campaign up and running. I was like, well, you just gave me this list. So the sooner you can get it from your clients, the better. TikTok is next. To find their audiences, head up to Tools, and there we see Audience Manager. Next, we can go and create an audience. See, I have an example here already created. And then we want a custom audience. There's Customer File. I'm not going to download the template, but we can include options for phone, email, and the mobile ID. Upload a CSV or text file. Now, once you would actually upload your file, there are a few additional options here. You can turn on audience enhancement, pretty much like audience expansion and all the other tools. Let TikTok add more users to your initial list, and then use their machine learning to try to find more relevant users like your list users. And then the second toggle is to have your customer list audience be eligible to use for a reach and frequency campaign. I found that TikTok has been the most difficult to match users. But I'll also be honest and say many of our clients are more lead gen focused. But even when we worked with some B2C or D2C, finding matched emails has been tougher. TikTok needs a minimum of 1,000 matched users. So it is higher than most of the other platforms. So I would say you would need at least double that amount, hoping for a 50% match rate in order for this file to be eligible to serve with TikTok Ads Manager. Once you confirm, TikTok does mention it takes usually about 24 hours at least for the file to populate. But if you have a large list, here's where you'd upload it, confirm, and then just wait. Reddit Ads also has customer lists. To find it, here's the navigation in the top corner. And then we want Audience Manager. Let's create a new audience and a custom audience. We want customers list. We want the customer list option. You can upload a CSV file. The file must contain either the mobile ad IDs or emails. But if you're looking at just email, copy and paste function makes it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about files. If you are uploading a file, the maximum amount of rows you can have is 1 million, but the minimum amount you have to include is 1,000 entries. Again, that's 1,000 matched users in order to be eligible to use in a campaign. Now, pulling open a different tab, Reddit does have partner integrations, but these are the 4 options. And I have no problem admitting I'm not familiar with any of them. So HubSpot's not an option, Salesforce, Pardot, MailChimp, any of the ones that you're probably familiar with, can't use it with Reddit. You're going to have to upload a file or copy and paste a big list. Quora has had customer list options for years. Already up top here in audiences, we'll create a new audience. We want list match. Click next, name your audience. In here, you can just upload a CSV of emails. Don't even need a column header, just one huge column with an email address in each row. The minimum audience size in Quora is 200. So it already is kind of tough finding your audience on Quora in the first place. Definitely lower volume. So a lower minimum audience size is welcomed here. The maximum amount you can upload is 4 million. If you have more than that, you guessed it, you need multiple files uploaded. And that's it for Quora. Next, we have Pinterest. Wherever you are, go to the top navigation menu, open it up, and there you will see audiences. Next, click on Create Audience. And here you can see customer lists. Your list can be from mobile ad IDs or emails. Just like Quora, it has to be in a single column, and they only accept CSV files. Do not include names, phone numbers, countries, exclude all of that. You don't want the file to be rejected. Even better than Quora, Pinterest customer list must match to only 100 users. If I close out of this, you will see the green ready circle when it's good to use. They do say their list can take 24 to 48 hours to populate, so that's another one you'd like to get as early as possible. But I will give Pinterest kudos here because they do make it easy to edit the audience. We see the pencil button in the row where the customer file is, and then we can choose what we want to do. Add people, so it'd be a brand new list to add to your current list. Remove users, upload a list of users or emails that you want to remove from this list and leave all the other ones, or replace the customer list completely. And the last one I'm going to talk about is Snapchat. Head to the top in their drop-down menu. Under Assets, we see Audiences. Create a new audience, and there's the customer list option. Just like Reddit, a CSV or text option, or copy and paste. Now, their list options are going to be one at a time because we see the options up here are emails, phone numbers, and mobile ad IDs. So don't paste emails and phone numbers. It's got to be just one. That's because before you can save it, you have to choose a data type. So I'm letting Snapchat know I'm only including emails here, hence why you only want to paste emails. Now, as for upload and a minimum audience size, Snapchat also has a larger audience size. Just like TikTok, you have to have 1,000 matched users. I didn't see any data in terms of maximum amount that you can upload. So if you do use Snapchat, a larger list is required. But those are the only platforms I'm talking about today. I think it's very important to use first-party information to make it easier to guide users through their buyer's journey to an eventual conversion or purchase. I think it's equally as important to always use customer lists from at least an exclusion standpoint if you can. I know it's harder for smaller businesses, especially with a lot of these minimum audience sizes that we talked about for each of the channels, but if you can, exclude out the users who have already purchased from you, or use the list to get back in front of users to potentially run any next step campaigns, or if you have a product that people might need to buy again. We see there are different templates for each channel, and the requirements are a little bit different for each one, but hopefully that gave you a better understanding of where you can use potential customer lists, whether it's email, phone number, or potentially the mobile ad IDs. If you have any other questions about customer lists in any of the platforms, or if there's a channel you'd like to use that I didn't talk about, let everyone know in the comments.
Thanks for watching our video. We really appreciate it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up below. If you really liked it, maybe think about subscribing to the Paid Media Pros YouTube channel and you'll get alerted every time a new video drops.
If you really liked it, you can help support the channel by checking out some of the t-shirts that we're wearing on our merch shelf, as well as looking at the Super Thanks button.